San Andreas features one of the most detailed and beautifully crafted open worlds in all of gaming. Every town, county, and state feels distinct, offering their own unique layout, visual identity, and a range of activities. After an extremely long wait and plenty of comments,
Oh shit, here we go again.
we're finally here to rank every town found in San Andreas. And if you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. That out the way, let's get straight on with the video. In last place, we have Aldea Malvada. Aldea Malvada is a small burnt down ghost town perched on top of a mountain in Tierra Robada. According to the game, the settlement is made from the ruins of an ancient tribe, though exactly which tribe was never confirmed. Due to it being abandoned, it naturally has no active businesses or amenities. However, it does appear more often than you'd think in the story. It serves as the host town to the FBI throughout multiple missions, as well as where Tenpenny gives CJ jobs. There really isn't much reason to visit either. I mean, there is an RPG pickup which is pretty useful, but I'm sure you can find one less out of the way. Aldea Malvada is so old that it doesn't even resemble modern towns at all, making it feel extremely disconnected from the rest of the map, not even counting its isolated location in the first place. With this in mind, I think Aldea Malvada gives off the impression that it's just a place that wants to be left alone. In 14th place, we have Las Brujas. Las Brujas is a ghost town located in Bone County. It's a tiny two-street settlement made up of old wooden buildings and looks like it's been pulled straight out of the Wild West. The dusty roads along with the faded storefronts and it being isolated in the middle of the desert gives it an eerie atmosphere. Since it's completely abandoned, there aren't any activities or businesses here aside from a small cemetery. Las Brujas is famously associated with the ghost town figure, a myth which adds to its intrigue. If you're interested, you should check out my video on the many myths and cryptids throughout all of Rockstar's games, where you can learn more about the ghost town figure and other cryptids alike. Even with that though, the cowboy aesthetic alone makes it stand out, and it's just a shame that it's abandoned, as a Wild West town would have been pretty cool, even if it was just a gimmick. In 13th place, it's El Quebrados. El Quebrados is a small town located on the northwestern edge of Tierra Robada and is based on the real-life town of Bridgeport, California. At quick glance, the town is pretty worn down and definitely past its prime, but even with that, it still offers a surprising amount of amenities. Here you can find an ammunition, a barber shop, multiple gas stations, and a paint spray, which I think is more than what you would expect from a place that's fading away. El Quebrados gives off the vibe of a dying town. A sort of melancholy nostalgia emanates from it. Many of the storefronts are completely stripped and empty, and a large portion of the residential areas consist of trailer parks that have been poorly maintained. This is especially a shame because there are still quite a few businesses here. So I can only help but wonder what El Quebrados looks like in its prime. You can also find some random interiors in town which are completely empty. I'm not sure if they were supposed to be used for a specific reason that got cancelled, or if Rockstar were just trying to keep the town a bit more interesting. When it comes to what I would imagine a small town located in the middle of the deserts of America, I would think El Quebrados does a pretty good job of representing that. It captures the feeling of the town's slow decline due to economic pressures and shrinking population very effectively. In 12th place, we have Montgomery. Montgomery is a small rural town located in northern Red County and seems to be based on Visalia, California. The population is filled with mostly working class residents as well as plenty of rednecks. Montgomery is home to the only medical center in Red County, which is a nice plus about the area. Other businesses featured here are a general store, a liquor store, several restaurants, and a handful of small factories. Saying all this though, Montgomery definitely feels run down and neglected. It does have a surprisingly large commercial center with multiple blocks of stores and businesses. However, a large portion of them seem to be empty or dilapidated. The main residential areas found in Montgomery come in the form of two trailer parks located on opposite sides of town. The first one is dirty and unkempt, reinforcing Montgomery's lower class identity. The second trailer park, however, is in better condition, but at the end of the day, it's still just a trailer park. Montgomery also just doesn't feel welcoming with signage like this. and it makes me understand why most people are moving out. Even the drivers of Montgomery are horrible. Like, look at this guy. And the fact that no one else even cares proves my point that this must happen all the time. Overall though, Montgomery stands out as more of a rough and tumble type town. It does have the infrastructure and size of a good town, but that's really all it has going for it. In 11th, it's Las Payasadas. Las Payasadas is a small town located in northern Bone County and appears to resemble the real-life town of Good Springs, Nevada. The town is easy to recognize due to its iconic landmark, the giant chicken statue known as the Big Pecker, which is the mascot for Pecker Feed and Seed Company. It's pretty ridiculous, but at the same time, it definitely gives the town a bit of a personality. Other places of interest here include a small cafe, a trailer park, and this comedic sign. Very funny game. The main street looks pretty similar to that of a classic Wild West town, albeit with an abandoned and rundown twist. On the northern side of town, you can find the main residential section, which is made up of a bunch of small shack-like houses connected with dirt paths. Everyone lives pretty close together, so one could assume they at least have a good community aspect. On the other side of town, there is an observatory, which offers a great view of Las Venturas in the distance, as well as CJ's nearby airstrip. Another interesting thing is that you can find this large warehouse-style building thingy just outside of town. It's unnamed and you can't interact with it, but it does add to the overall ambiguity that you find in Las Payasadas. The thing is though, the town feels less like an actual destination and more like a stop on your way to Las Venturas. It acts like a small tourist town that is only there to serve a specific function rather than to be its own great town. In 10th place, it's Blueberry. Blueberry is a medium-sized rural town located in Red County and appears to be based on Santa Maria, California. Blueberry acts as the industrial backbone of Red County and features some of the largest factories in the state. Blueberry definitely feels commercially driven, but it still does include a handful of useful amenities like an ammunition, a safe house, a restaurant, and of course, a trailer park. The main business in Blueberry is Blueberry Acres, a massive farming and agricultural processing area on the west side of town. Despite its fairly decent size, Blueberry doesn't really have much residential space. There's a few apartment buildings, including the one which contains the safe house, as well as a few single-family homes, but they're definitely outnumbered by the sheer amount of warehouses, dockyards, and other random commercial businesses. This partially is responsible for why Blueberry feels pretty empty. A majority of Blueberry's land is taken up by said commercial buildings that naturally don't offer any gameplay features. I still do like Blueberry as a town, but it definitely feels like a missed opportunity. Plenty of towns in San Andreas do much more with less space, and in many ways it seems to be lacking a clear purpose from a gaming perspective at least. In 9th place, we have Bayside. Bayside is a medium-sized town located in the northwest corner of Tierra Robada. It's widely regarded as one of the most affluent areas in the region, seemingly home to wealthy residents who are trying to escape the noise and chaos of San Fierro. The town has a welcoming, calm, and coastal atmosphere that sets it apart from virtually every other town in San Andreas. Despite all of this, though, Bayside is extremely empty feeling. The only real businesses in town are a clothing store and boating school. Outside of that, all you can really do is walk around. The homes are large and extremely beautiful, however, featuring white walls and gorgeous red shingled roofs that reinforce the town's upper-class identity. On the waterfront, you can also find a small pier and whatever this structure is. Maybe it's a small lighthouse or something, but I actually have no clue, so if you guys know, definitely comment it down below. Anyways though, the residents seem to love it. You can also find a helipad on the east side, which is pretty useful too. Even though Bayside is clearly depicted as a very rich area, it of course still has a trailer park because, well, welcome to San Andreas. To be fair though, it is as bougie as a trailer park could possibly be. Overall, Bayside has a really nice, peaceful vibe going on, which is appreciated. However, it extremely lacks in amenities and feels pretty empty. In 8th place, it's Palomino Creek. Palomino Creek is a rural town in Red County, just north of Los Santos. It's based on the real-life city of Bakersfield, California, and is surrounded by farmland and open fields. Some businesses you can find here include an ammunition, the Palomino Creek Bank, a few restaurants, and even a small library, which is a nice detail. That being said though, most of the town is residential. Palomino Creek is filled with single-family homes. Many of them have hanging American flags on their porches and waving in the winds, kind of, while the owner chills in the front porch. To me at least, it really leans into the small town American stereotype, and I like it. The main road has a few stores lining it, but there's not really anything super interesting or over the top. And in my opinion at least, that kind of adds to the charm of Palomino Creek. It isn't trying to be super lavish or fancy. It's one of the most authentic feeling towns found in San Andreas, and I think it captures the essence of a small, quiet American rural town pretty well. In 7th place, we have Angel Pine. Angel Pine is a small rural town located in Whetstone and serves as CJ's hideout after he leaves Los Santos. Tucked in between Mount Chiliad and Shady Creeks, the town naturally carries an eerie atmosphere. The dense forests and mountainous backdrop give it an isolated feeling, which definitely adds to the vibe of Angel Pine. The town's main business is the sawmill, which is responsible for most of the jobs here. That being said though, it does have a few useful amenities like a safe house, an ammunition, a liquor store, and a few small restaurants. Fun fact about Angel Pine is that it actually is a sort of predecessor to Paleto Bay in GTA 5. Angel Pine is definitely rougher and less developed of course, but it's pretty easy to see the comparison between the two. Another thing that stands out about Angel Pine is just how much residential area it has. In the many towns across Red County, commercial buildings usually dominate the landscape. However, it's the opposite with Angel Pine, as residential space accounts for most of the area, mainly consisting of single-family homes and trailer parks. Despite being probably the most isolated town in San Andreas, Angel Pine doesn't really feel that way. There's always plenty of pedestrians walking around, and like I said earlier, there's a surprisingly good amount of activities. Angel Pine is not going to blow you away. It's not flashy in terms of visuals or an extremely practical place to visit. However, it serves its purpose extremely well, being an isolated, slightly eerie town surrounded by forest. If you ever find yourself on this side of the map, Angel Pine is a reliable place to stop by. In 6th place, it's Las Barrancas. Las Barrancas is a small town located in the southeast of Tierra Robada. The first thing that's abundantly clear when entering Las Barrancas is its deep connection to its history. The town contains remains of ancient pueblos, including the main one built on the side of the mountain on the far side of town. These ruins give it a strong cultural identity and make it feel much more important than some of the other towns throughout San Andreas. At the same time though, you'll find plenty of businesses here, including an unnamed bank, a few restaurants, and most famously, the TP Hotel. And of course, it's San Andreas, so you can bet on the fact there's a trailer park as well. Architecturally, Las Barrancas is pretty interesting. It's a blend of traditional Mexican style homes mixed with more classic Western and American storefronts. It seems like Las Barrancas is at a crossroads. Does it want to modernize itself and potentially overlook its history, or preserve the heritage of the town? Currently, it seems to be doing a mix of both, which doesn't seem to be working the best. The TP Motel also perfectly represents this internal debate. It leans extremely heavy into its touristy audience and less about the actual history of the area. But alas, the Americanization of Las Barrancas is starting to take a lead, as the Smoke and Beef Grill is the main eatery in the town. And you can find a chili dog vendor, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. With this whole split going on, whichever side you personally agree with, you can't deny that it definitely makes the town unique. Into our top 5, it's Fort Carson. Fort Carson is a large town located in Bone County and is based on the real-life Carson City, the capital of Nevada. Despite being the biggest non-Major 3 town in San Andreas, it is still surprisingly undeveloped. That being said though, Fort Carson does have a good amount of businesses and amenities, including an ammunition, a safe house, a pay and spray, a bank, a bowling alley, and several restaurants. One thing I really like about Fort Carson is the layout. It's of course a big town, but it also does a good job of actually feeling that way as well. The streets are spaced out nicely. The town feels like it could be real, and it actually has structure to it, unlike most of the other small towns in San Andreas. The main street in particular stands out to me. The center median gives it a bit of flair that we don't see in the other non-major 3 towns, and it makes Fort Carson feel like plenty of thought actually went into its design. It is pretty funny that there's 5 straight motels lined up on the same street. Like, is this something that's normal in Nevada, bro? Is this real? If there's any Nevadans watching, let me know in the comments. Another thing I like about Fort Carson is how most of the residential areas are located on the outskirts of town, and it's primarily single-family homes, which adds to the atmosphere. They do tend to spontaneously combust for some strange reason though, so just be aware of that, I guess. Fort Carson definitely stands above most of the other towns in San Andreas for one main reason, being that it seems to have been thoughtfully created and laid out by Rockstar, and you can really tell when you visit. Also, they have the Cactus Bar, which seems pretty cool. I wonder what they serve there. In 4th place, we have Dillamore. Dillamore is a small town located in central Red County. More specifically, it acts as the center point between Los Santos, San Fierro, and Las Venturas. The town itself is extremely small and only features a few businesses like a pay and spray, a barber shop, and a general store. There's also a safe house here, which is one of my favorites in the game. One thing that stands out about Dillamore is the architecture shown throughout the town. For example, I think the police department looks pretty nice, especially compared to other police departments in other cities, which look pretty to how unique its architecture is. Like, look at this random gas station. It absolutely did not need to go that hard. And this random store next to the barbershop also looks pretty good. And look at this random general store. Okay, well, this one looks kind of bad, but still, it's unique at the very least. All the towns in Red County are very similar. They all seem like one big blur, and these small details really help separate Dillamore from the other towns. On top of that, it has a strong residential presence, which isn't too common with the other towns in Red County. It gives Dillamore plenty of character and a warm, comforting feeling, even with its size. If I had to pick a town to live in Red County in real life, it would easily be Dillamore. In 3rd place, it's San Fierro. San Fierro is the 2nd largest city in San Andreas in terms of population and is inspired by real-life San Francisco. The population is predominantly Asian, but the city itself is still extremely diverse. Out of the 3 major cities in the game, San Fierro is definitely the most urban, with thin streets, compact neighborhoods, and a more metropolitan atmosphere. Due to it being based on San Francisco, you can spot many iconic locations, including the Gantz Bridge, Chinatown, the city hall, as well as the big pointy building. Something really cool about San Fierro is the cable car system, which runs through the downtown area. It's a small detail, but it adds a ton of personality and uniqueness to San Fierro. And combine that with the city's steep hills and narrow streets, it really feels unlike any other place in the game. A lot of people say San Fierro is the worst part of the story throughout GTA San Andreas. However, I'm gonna disagree with that. I had a lot of fun building out the garage and doing missions for Woozy, so for that reason, San Fierro is pretty nostalgic to me as well. I also think aesthetically, San Fierro is probably the best looking city in the entire game. It has an extremely unique layout, beautiful architecture, and plenty of unique features that really make it stand out. That being said though, San Fierro also has the least amount of activities out of the 3 major cities. It honestly kind of seems like Rockstar spent much less time on San Fierro in comparison to the other 2 big cities, which is pretty disappointing. I would have loved to see a bit more done here, and if that would have been the case, it probably would be higher on our list. But for that reason, that's why it can only come in 3rd place. In 2nd place, it's Los Santos. Los Santos is, of course, Rockstar's take on Los Angeles and is the largest and most populated city in San Andreas. For simplicity's sake, I'm gonna break it up into 4 districts: Central, West, East, and South. Central Los Santos is the city's business and financial district. It's packed with skyscrapers, busy streets, tourists, and shoppers. You can find iconic landmarks here like the Griffith Observatory, the City Hall, and many towers. That being said though, Central Los Santos can still feel a little dry in terms of gameplay. There isn't actually that much to do apart from going to the grocery store. It is still visually impressive and extremely important to the integrity of Los Santos though. West Los Santos represents the wealthy, glamorous side of the city and includes the Vinewood Hills, massive mansions, celebrities, and high-end shopping districts. You can find the Vinewood sign here, the Walk of Fame, and many luxury hotels and upscale neighborhoods. It also contains the western coastline featuring Santa Maria Beach and Verona Beach, where you can relax by the ocean or I guess look at the Ferris wheel since you can't actually ride it. It's super flashy and filled with activities, making it an extremely fun part of town. Opposite of that though, we have East Los Santos, which is working class heart of the city. It's made mostly of suburbs, small businesses, and housing projects, and is defined by its gang violence between the Ballas, the Grove Street families, the Vagos, and the Los Aztecas. Since CJ is from Grove Street, you naturally spend a huge portion of the game in East Los Santos. It's easily the most nostalgic part of the city and arguably the most alive. There's constant action, many activities, and most importantly, plenty of personality. Lastly, South Los Santos, which is the industrial district. The area is filled with refineries, warehouses, and port facilities. It's not an attractive part of town. The docks are gray, ugly, and uneventful, but at the same time, that's kind of the point. As far as industrial zones go on GTA, it's pretty solid, and it also helps to make Los Santos feel complete and like a real-life city. Los Santos also contains the biggest airports, the LSIA, a two-story terminal with multiple gates. It's not the best made airport in GTA, maybe not even in this game, but it still is functional and pretty fun, especially since you can actually fly many of the planes. Overall, Los Santos is very well designed. It feels very diverse and alive, which really helps the immersiveness of the town. First place, it's Las Venturas. Las Venturas is modeled after the real-life Las Vegas and is the final city you unlock in San Andreas. It's located deep in a desert bordering Bone County, and the city immediately stands out as an oasis amongst the deserts. The heart of Las Venturas is the Strip, packed with massive casinos, luxury hotels, bougie shopping areas, and many cool themed buildings. The streets are lined with neon signs and bright lights, making it probably the most visually striking area in the entire game. And of course, just like its real-life predecessor, Las Venturas absolutely comes alive after dark, unlike any other town in San Andreas. But what really gets me about Las Venturas is the contrast. Of course, you have all the lights and consumerism in the heart of the town, but the further away you get from the center and into the outskirts, the more you can see past this illusion. The edges of town are filled with quiet suburban neighborhoods that act as a change of pace from the hecticness of the city. It reminds you that we're still isolated in the middle of the deserts, away from civilization, giving a sense of loneliness beneath all the glam. In my opinion, Rockstar absolutely nailed Las Venturas. Los Santos feels like LA, but it doesn't capture the full diversity of it. San Fierro kind of maybe at times feels like San Francisco, but also is completely different most of the time. Las Venturas, on the other hand, feels just how Vegas does, an artificial gambling wasteland in the middle of nowhere. The way Rockstar managed to emanate that feeling is truly remarkable. Not to mention, there's so much to do here. You can go to the casino, get married, visit a pawn shop, go to the casino, explore this giant castle resort thingy, check out this pirate ship, and oh yeah, you can also go to the casino as well. And just like Vegas in real life, it's absolutely packed with landmarks like the giant pyramid. And the best part about Las Venturas, you can dance. Oh yeah. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, as well as join my Discord. And anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.